Welcome to Play It by Tier, a series created by the Switch Clicks. In this series, we review a variety of games, movies, and other media. At the end of each episode, they will be ranked and placed onto a tier list based on a certain category. In this episode, we will be reviewing 1-2-Switch, one of the launch titles for the Nintendo Switch. 1-2-Switch is the Nintendo Switch equivalent to Wii Sports on the Wii and Nintendo Land on the Wii U, serving as a tech demo to show off most of the features on the Nintendo Switch. It is also the first in the line of many innovative games to be released on the Switch from Nintendo, followed by Nintendo Labo, Ring Fit Adventure, and Jump Rope Challenge. Unfortunately, as both a tech demo and a party game, 1-2-Switch fails to succeed against all other games, both on the Switch and on previous Nintendo consoles. At first glance, 1-2-Switch isn't a bad game. It was one of the very first games to have ever utilized HD Rumble, something we saw later in most Switch and PS5 games. It did it so well that many of us were shocked the first time we played the game. Being able to hold a controller that feels like it has balls rolling inside of it, or bubbles gassing up like a carbonated drink, or dice shuffling underneath it, gave the game a very immersive experience. The game also showcased the AR camera, which was barely used in future Switch games, but was a nice addition to the already innovative console. Most, if not all games, were played using motion controls. While not surprising on its own, combining it with HD Rumble and the AR camera made the game very innovative and almost one of a kind. For the time, it was one of the best party games. However, as time went on, many games just invalidated any reason to play 1-2-Switch. Super Mario Party is a game that also has a focus on motion controls, and it also uses HD Rumble in several ways, even going to the extent of showing off the ability to play music with HD Rumble. Nintendo Labo utilized every single feature on a Joy-Con for all of the accessories, but they did it in a way that enables the accessories to work their magic. The minigames themselves feel like they have more replay value than 2-Switch. Ring Fit Adventure and Jump Rope Challenge were both made for fitness, so motion controls were used a lot more than in 1-2-Switch. Basically, 1-2-Switch only scratches the certain features that were heavily used in other Switch games, making it virtually pointless to play 1-2-Switch. As mentioned before, it is essentially a successor to Wii Sports and Nintendo Land, but it is nowhere near as great as either of the two. Simplicity is always something to consider when developing a game for all ages, but when it gets too simple, there's just no motivation to keep playing it. 1-2-Switch is too simple of a game, and it lacks any major progression system compared to Wii Sports and Nintendo Land. Wii Sports kept track of our performance through a point system. Nintendo Land gave us in-game currency, achievements, and an entire set of unlockable maps and levels, basically qualifying as a full game. 1-2-Switch goes as far as keeping simple records such as the fastest time, but there's no going any further than that. Each sport in Wii Sports takes between 5 to 10 minutes to play, and each attraction in Nintendo Land can take between 10 to 20 minutes to play. With 1-2-Switch, everything feels no longer than 5 minutes. Some would even last just 30 seconds. With the flow of the game constantly being interrupted by the short time limit, you have to keep replaying the games to actually have fun. But even then, there is no sense of accomplishment. Also comparing it to those two games, 1-2-Switch barely has any single player content. You get to cradle a virtual baby and eat as many sandwiches as possible, but that's as far as you'll go for any solo gameplay. You might argue that Breath of the Wild was the option for a single player game, but so was Twilight Princess on the Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U. Yet at the same time, Wii Sports and Nintendo Land actually featured single-player content themselves, whether it's played against CPUs or games that only optionally feature multiplayer, like Golf or the Zelda Battle Quest. If you're the person who wasn't able to play with family or friends, it would be very difficult for you to 1-2-Switch because you simply couldn't. I would rank this at D tier, but there is one more factor that ultimately makes this game worse than it already is: price. 1-2-Switch was not bundled with no Switch by default, despite being a tech demo. That meant that you had to buy it separately, which doesn't seem so bad if you like collecting games. But 1-2-Switch was and still is expensive. 1-2-Switch is sold at $50 US. That is only $10 less than a full-price Switch game. Why pay $50 for a game that barely has any content when you could save up $10 more for a huge game like Breath of the Wild? Better yet, why not split up the money to buy better games like Snipperclips and Super Bomberman R? Games that have content for both single player and multiplayer for a cheaper price. Heck, I would even argue that the Puyo Puyo Tetris demo offered more fun than 1-2-Switch. And that was only the demo we're talking about. Imagine the full game. For the lack of features, better alternatives, and expensive pricing, I rank 1-2-Switch at the bottom of the tier list. F tier. Avoid this game at all costs, unless it goes on a big discount. Otherwise, save up your money for better innovative games like Super Mario Party and Ring Fit Adventure.